In this video, I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough of the Bubble editor. I'll show you what it's really like to use Bubble and cover all of the essential features that make building and launching apps faster than ever. Bubble users are building all sorts of apps, such as SaaS apps, AI apps, marketplaces, internal tools, and now native mobile apps. And in this video, we'll look at the various aspects of app building, such as creating high-end responsive designs, creating powerful logic with workflows and expressions, integrating data, and connecting to external services like OpenAI, and all without code. When you create a new app, the first thing you'll see is the design editor. And this drag and drop editor lets you quickly design production-grade UI. In the UI Builder menu, we have lots of elements that you can simply drag and drop onto the canvas and style exactly as you'd like. Let's add a text element. Then paste in some title copy, and then we'll adjust the layout a little. Now let's add another text element. Paste in the subtitle copy, and change some layout settings. Let's also add a button and update the label. Earlier, I designed a reusable navigation bar, so I'm just going to click to drop it into my design. The layout of all of these elements are determined by the layout settings in the property editor. We've created a system that is designed to help you create consistent layouts on different screen sizes. Here is what a completed design can look like. Let's preview this design on an actual web page. I'm going to view this design on different screen sizes as well. Tablet and mobile. Back to desktop. What about workflows? The workflow tab is where you tell your app what to do and when to do it, using human language and not code. Let me show an example. I'm going to design a workflow to sign a user up to my app. To do so, I simply double-click Add Workflow. Then add a new step. Find the account category, and then select Sign Up. From here, I can simply match the inputs in the property editor with the inputs in my design. And that's it, we're done. After that, I can add a step to navigate to a logged in page called Account. What else can we configure in the workflow editor? We can create and manage data. We can send emails, collect payments, connect to third-party APIs such as OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So going back to the sign-up flow, where is the user record created? For that, we'll have a look at the Data tab. We organize our data into data types, which are basically collections of data. Here we can see an inbuilt user data type. Let's add a text field to collect a user's name on sign up. Let's also add an image field for the profile image. And a position field to capture a user's professional title. The email and password fields are built in. Let's now sign up a user and then view the data in this table. For now, we'll just collect the name, email, and password. Later on, I'll demonstrate the other fields in the database. And with that done, let's view the database. Here we can see the user's name and email. The password is hidden by design. In this particular app, we might have a payments data type to collect payment information. We might also have a company data type if we want companies and employees to use the app. We can also link tables together by setting up a field to simply reference them. So we have a design, we have some workflows, and we have some user-generated data. But how do we display data from the database back to our users? Let's start with a very simple example. I've added a text element to the page, and I've written the words, "Hey Frank, nice to see you." Now in production, this wouldn't work very well as we're assuming that everyone is called Frank. But with dynamic data, we can display a current user's name back to them by referencing the database. So if I replace the word Frank with a dynamic expression, such as current user's name, and then we preview it on the page, we can see that it's correctly displaying my name back to me. Let's now add some dynamic data to the account page. For my profile image, I'm going to reference the current user. I'm going to do the same for the name and the title fields. What else can we do with dynamic data? Well, a lot actually. We can display a list of jobs from the database on a job search page. We can include filters and search queries to narrow the results. We can build AI apps that generate text, audio, and images. We can display data in tables and allow users to interact with specific rows of data. And those are just 3 quick examples, but the possibilities are kind of endless. What about data and functionality from third-party services via APIs? Most apps you use on a day-to-day basis will be connecting and interacting with API services. So how do we do it in Bubble? If you have a bit of knowledge and experience and wish to build out your own custom integrations, you can use the ever-popular API connector. This enables seamless connections to REST-based APIs, which is the leading method for connecting applications to external services. But if you're new to APIs, you can start with plugins. These are created by both Bubble and the community. Let's add a Stripe plugin for payments. Now let's look for email plugins. I really like Loops for transactional and marketing automation. What about OpenAI as well? So now we have 3 easy-to-use plugins that allow us to take payments from customers, send customer emails automatically based on rules and events in our app, as well as integrate with OpenAI. So how exactly do we use these plugins in our app? I'll give you an example of Stripe. After registering on their platform and entering my secret API keys into Bubble, I'm ready to take payments from customers. I built this little form to demonstrate. I'll create a step to add the Stripe plugin and configure the necessary inputs. After that, Stripe handles the rest. Now you've noticed me jumping between pages, but just how are pages created and accessed? Pages are created from this really handy drop-down in the top left-hand corner. We can create a fresh page, give it a name, and then choose to either clone an existing page or start with a blank page. We can navigate between pages via actions from the workflow editor or with link elements. We can create pages that are publicly accessible, such as landing pages. And we can create private pages that are only accessible by the logic that you create, such as if a user is logged out, don't let them access this page. Now, you may ask, how did I get all of my designs to look so consistent? Well, that's where styles come into play. And styles enable us to style elements from a single location as a way to save time and provide a consistent and professional experience to our users. You can have multiple styles for every element. For instance, we may have a primary button, a flat button, and an outline button for different design intentions. These buttons may be spread all across your app, hundreds of them, but from the Styles tab, we can maintain them from a single source. The updates you make here propagate across your app. Now, we've covered a lot of information in a short amount of time, but we have still only really touched the tip of the iceberg regarding the possibilities. If you'd like to explore further, I suggest taking our Getting Started course, which will help you build your first end-to-end application. Also make sure to check out our in-depth manual as well as the forum, where thousands of bubblers are helping each other build their applications on a day-to-day basis. So it's over to you now. Get started with Bubble for free with the link in the description. We can't wait to see what you build next.